everyone, and welcome to Ride Recon Episode 2. This time we take out the Ducati Scrambler, specifically the Full Throttle Edition. One of our local shops was doing a Ducati demo day, so I went out and had a chance to ride this. And if you aren't familiar, Ducati Scrambler, it is a flat track style or flat track inspired bike by Ducati. Can be kind of dual sportish. It comes with dual sport tires. And the Full Throttle Edition specifically comes with a seat that's inspired by flat track. It's also got lower bars, again, flat track inspired. And it's got an exhaust upgrade as well. Really cool bike. I definitely enjoyed riding it. So let's go ahead and check out the ride footage. You can hear me talk about it some more. All right, so we're going for a ride on the Ducati Scrambler Full Throttle. Alright, so this is the Ducati Scrambler Full Throttle. Just give you some first impressions. I just got on the thing, pulled out into traffic. The seating position, really comfortable. Really good feel on the front end here. Throttle response, pretty good. Really light throttle, pretty responsive, goes off the line quick. I believe this is about an 830cc. It's really nice turning into corners. You know, I'm used to the SV, which is a pretty heavy bike. Looks like we're going to wait for some people here on our ride. Shifter feels pretty good when you're riding. It was a little tough to find neutral initially. The engine brake's pretty fun. Got a bit of engine braking to it. I like it. Now, the one thing I did notice kind of immediately when I got on are the foot pegs are really wide, and it's like I feel like I've got to have a crazy stance kind of to get around the foot pegs. But maybe they're just further forward than I'm used to, being from sport bikes. That could be the only thing. But so far, it's really comfortable. Oh yeah, wow, even higher gears, the throttle's still really responsive. Yeah, we got a couple other Ducatis on our ride here with me. .959 Panigale there. Listen to that for a second. All right, so looking at the gauges here, I actually really like it. It's a really simple gauge. You've got your speed really big in the center. You've kind of got your reverse tach, digital tachometer going from about 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's kind of interesting, but I picked up on it really quick, so it didn't bother me. Okay, really good visibility from these mirrors, so I like that. It looks like we've also got our time on here, total mileage, things like that. Pretty easy to see. Well, that thing sounds really good. Just raw as hell. Now, the Panigale for the demo ride today was booked up all the way through the end of the day by the time they opened, so I did not get to take that one for a spin. Now, your indicator switch on here is kind of interesting. It's a lot more substantial than the one on my Suzuki. Pretty good feedback on it too, which is one thing I don't like about the Suzuki one. It feels a little vague. This one really solid. You click one way, you click the other, you know it. And your cancellation button is really solid too. It's pretty easy to see your indicators. on your gauge, and I like that. It's just really simple. You know, the bike it feels pretty stripped down, and I like that. There's nothing that's over the top about it. It's just comfortable. It does its purpose, and it looks good while it does it. So I can appreciate that for sure. It's pretty quiet, especially comparing to mine, which has got aftermarket exhaust and such on it. You could definitely be comfortable riding this bike long distances or commuting. I wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Suspension is a little stiff. It's not sort of dual sport soft, but it's not, you know, track bike stiff either. It's a nice middle ground. So a bike you could take on the streets, take it to work, or take it on the track if you wanted to, and probably perform pretty decently. Haven't really had it anywhere yet where I could take it and lay it in any corners, but the small corners we've had so far, a couple of sort of wide sweepers, it felt really confident in the corners. It didn't worry me at all. I just think this upright position is so much better, in my opinion, as sort of a new rider, to being comfortable on a bike, especially in corners. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall over immediately like sort of that leaned over sport bike position does. It's a pretty cool hawk flying by us there. Yeah, and the shifter, now that I'm driving it a little bit more, the shifter's really good. It's just finding neutral. That first time was a little weird for me. I was a little bumpy over those tracks, dear Lord. Oh, really good exhaust note off throttle. The stock exhaust on this thing is actually pretty good so far. I'm sure it would sound awesome with some aftermarket pipes on it, open it up a little bit, but Ducati seems to have spent some time on this exhaust note, and I appreciate that. Power band comes in pretty smooth. It doesn't throw you back immediately, so there's not a lot of torque there on the low end, like you would get in a a larger displacement bike. But it's there. It gets out of its own way really well. Not a problem at all on the power side. Some little pops coming out of the exhaust on downshifts. That's fun. Yeah, you get up in the revs, it's got some oomph to it. That's pretty fun. It's pretty confident. It feels pretty good with low speed cornering as well. Whenever I just took that 90-degree corner there, I felt really good on it. And I don't feel like I'm sitting super upright on this, even though it's way more upright than I'm used to. It doesn't feel weird. When I rode the Zero bike the other week, it was pretty, it felt straight upright is what it felt like. This one just feels comfortable. It doesn't feel sort of awkwardly upright in comparison to a sport bike. And I like that. It's a nice neutral riding position. It's just that peg position is what I'm not used to. They're further forward than the sport bike. See again how this thing feels, sort of low speed cornering, city driving stuff. I don't get up there. Yeah, it's not a slouch by any means. So I'm currently doing 70. A little bit of wind. No worse than my SV, which doesn't have fairings. But it feels really stable at speed. I don't feel like I'm getting blown around a ton. The brakes are solid. That was the So that was my first ride on the Ducati Scrambler Full Throttle. I really enjoyed the bike, as you could probably tell. The riding position was very comfortable. The gauges were simple, clear, easy to use. The only things I kind of ran into were you know, the position of the footrests weren't where I was used to, and that's not bad. That's just sort of a getting used to it thing. And the shifter didn't want to go into neutral that first time, but I kind of got used to it, and it wasn't that bad. You know, comparing things to my bike, which is pretty heavily modified, and the sport bike, it's just very different. So I don't think I'm going to hold that against it. And just to sort of wrap stuff up, so the Scrambler, as I rode it, retails I think at $10,500. That'll put you out the door a little over $12,000 probably, with all the taxes and fees and all that. And it's a 75 horsepower, 50 foot-pound torque, 803cc engine. It's the same engine on all of the Scrambler models. They just have different sort of trim packages depending on which one you're getting. But yeah, I'm actually, if I was in the market for a new bike right now, I would definitely consider one. I was talking to the dealership about the demo bike and possibly making a move on that, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. But I did really enjoy it. I think it's a great bike, and for that price at $10,500, I think it holds its own, especially in the market. It's almost, it doesn't really have that Scrambler market on lockdown. I believe Kawasaki recently came out with a model that's sort of a competitor for the Scrambler. But in my opinion, the Ducati looks better, and I've ridden it, and you know, it's got that Ducati name and heritage, which is always great, aside from, you know, the maintenance that comes with Ducatis if you listen to stereotypes. But I really enjoyed it. If you're thinking about a Ducati Scrambler, I'll give it the thumbs up. I really enjoyed the ride. Just send a shout out to Big Number 1 Motorsports and Ducati for hosting the event and letting me come out and ride. I really enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys on the next Ride Recon.